This is some basics about the Magix Music Maker program. You'll find it on your desktop. It looks like this. When you open it up, you'll get to a screen like this. And there's a few things you need to know about the layout of this screen. Okay? First and foremost, you've got your menu items at the top. Over here, you've got different buttons that you can use, including different mouse modes, so the mouse can act a lot of different ways, from clicking to drawing, cutting, monitoring, scrubbing, lots of interesting mouse modes right here. Then if we come down the side here, we've got different tracks, so we can have infinity number of tracks. Right now there are 6 on the screen. I can zoom in and zoom out how many I have on the screen top to bottom by using these 2 zoom buttons top to bottom right here. I can scroll up and down to see, right now I've got 16 tracks. So that's top to bottom. They go in stripes. They go across in stripes. And as you hit play, this red bar will go across. Now I can move across left to right on what's called the time bar. That's up here at the top. It's got little numbers. That is where I would be after 8 measures of music. It's a little confusing. If you think about 8 measures of music, you don't go to number 8 actually. 8 measures of music would continue all the way up to the beginning of measure 9, so that's why we go right to this 9. But this is where you can start wherever you'd like. This is also a way to do it, this sliding bar over here. This is the control panel here for tempo. You can change how fast it's going, you can change the volume right here. So this kind of bar across the middle has lots of goodies on it. And then down here, you'll find the File Manager or Explorer window, and it's usually got a couple levels to it. So here's a style called Deep House Volume 1. These are all the different instrument types that are in that folder, and then within each one of those is a few different sounds. Now each sound has different chords, so I can play cycle mallets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You may notice that drums do not have those, just the 1. Because drums cannot follow a chord progression because they don't have specific pitches. So all that happens here in the File Manager area down in the screen here. Over here you've got a video screen. Right now it's showing the peak meter as we play stuff. The different pitches are going to go up and down. There's also a video monitor where you can throw videos on the screen and they'll show up here. It can give you an overview of your music, so as you drag stuff on there, you can see it shows up here. And then there's some information about things that you can click on different things and get information. So that's the entire screen. You've seen me manipulate the sounds a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple things. Let's say I've put a sound on the screen and I want to make it shorter. I grab the bottom right corner, there's a little arrow there, and I can shrink it to 2 measures, expand it to 8 measures. Most music is in even multiples or phrases of 8 or 4. So there's 8 measures. I suppose we could go to 12 measures or 16 measures. And keep in mind, 16 measures means go up to 17. 8 measures means go up to 9, not 8. That'll throw you off, so be careful. I can also shrink or stretch it from the left side. So if I'm over here and I decide I want my sound to start earlier, I can grab the left side. The line across the middle has 3 handles on it. The one in the middle is for volume. I can turn it down. I can turn it up. Right in the middle is where I want it. That's like the original spot that it was at. That's medium, I guess, or mezzo forte. Then I can grab this right-hand side or this left-hand side, and I can do what's called a fade in or a fade out. It's not very common in music, but you can build in some dynamics as you go across. So that's going to get louder and louder, and then when it gets to here, it's going to fade out. So you can see what a fade in and a fade out might do. I can put this anywhere I want, but most of the time we're going to put drum tracks at the top, then bass, then harmony, and then melody. Let's say I go get a bass. I'll find a good one here. Now I can find what's called a chord progression by putting various numbers in order. So I'm going to do a chord progression that goes 1, 4, 5, 1. That's a pretty common one. Now the bass player is playing in a pattern. And it switches to 4. Now the other instruments that play have to follow that same pattern. So if I find another one, that might be a good melody. I'll use sustained Rhodes. So now I have to follow that same pattern. 1, 4, 5, 1. Otherwise my band doesn't sound together. Everyone switches to 4. Everyone switches to 5. And everyone switches to 1. Okay, make sure I did that right. Yes, I did. Now I could go find a melody. And I might do the same thing. 1, 4, 5, 1. You might find that that row of numbers doesn't show up. It's probably because this button is clicked. This is a button that cleans everything up. You notice a lot of stuff is gone. It just kind of, a lot of stuff disappeared. It's just kind of a way to clean your screen up if you don't want all the options. So if your screen looks like this and you're not getting all the cool stuff, you can go right to that. Okay, so that's how you operate the screen. If you ever want to add a style, you click on this button right here, Add Styles, and it'll open up a library. Hopefully here, it doesn't take too long. You can go to this drop-down menu here. On your desktop, you should find a hard drive called Magix files, and there are sounds and videos there for you to choose from. So once I open up the sound files, you'll see there are dozens and dozens of different styles. So let's say I want to add a style called Metal Volume 2. I click on that, I hit OK, and it's going to load up Metal Volume 2, hopefully. So there's a little bit of a delay going on here, but that's the basics of it. So this is where you add styles. This is where you manage your files. Down here, these are the tracks. This is the time bar. You can also do a solo or mute. That's these buttons. So if I only want to hear track 4, I can click solo. If I only want to hit mute, or if I only want to hear 1, 2, and 3, I could mute number 4. I could mute, 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 and have nothing. Those two buttons really just do what they say they're going to do. Record would be if you want to record your own voice or something with a microphone. We'll go ahead and cancel that. It's taking too long. But that would show up over here, just like these styles. You can have a long list of styles there. So there are some of the basics. Here's undo, save, and then cut, copy, paste. Those are going to come in really, really handy. Cut, copy, and paste. So if I want to copy this, I can make a copy of this, and I can put it anywhere that I want by clicking where I want it and click on paste. Now I've got a copy of it. I can also, if I didn't like that, I can click on it and hit cut, and it will disappear. So that's one way to do it. What if I want to do a bunch of stuff? I can highlight by using a box like this and grab just what I want to copy, and then I can paste it where I want it. And that whole chunk right there gets moved over to here. That would be good for deleting large numbers of things, or let's say I want to make a duplicate of a whole section because I want the band to play it again. Now I've got 2 copies of that same section, and I can have that played again later. Okay? So those are a few things about that. If you want to control all the volumes at once, you can click on this button, which is the mixer. I can press play and turn up or turn down some of the volumes at different times. I can also do what's called panning. So if I want the drums to be in my left ear and the bass to be in my right ear, I might give a little bit of a turn of the left and right knobs there. That's called panning. Okay, your master volume is right here, and you can see that turns up this volume over here as well. So some really good things about how this screen works and how you interface with the screen.